Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. It is Friday, so it's a busy day for us. For those of you that know, you know, right? If you know, you know. Getting ready to start our day of rest, so that is always a welcome time for the end of the week. Decided I'd come down here and take a moment at the creek and enjoy the calmness, because I have a feeling that I may end up stepping on some toes today. Some of you may not like me after this video. I'm sure already, just by seeing the little thumbnail and title of this video, some of you are already very, very upset with me. May not ever watch me again. I don't know. But I don't know. What do I call it? That I feel I have a duty? I don't guess that's the right word. But I do have a platform. I firmly believe that God has given me this platform. I don't know why. I think he could have, picked someone better than me to talk about the things that I talk about in the way that I do. But I don't know. I just feel I have an obligation to point things out, because there's too many good people out there that are just kind of asleep at the wheel because they're told it's okay. They're told it's fine, that there's all these people out there that's pushing this narrative. Conservative people. I'm not talking about the left. I'm not talking about those evil globalist World Economic Forum people, even though a lot of these big conservatives have been part of certain globalist organizations like Masons and World Economic Forum and different things like that. But try not to go too far too fast. Have conservatives been duped? Now, I know not everyone here would consider themselves conservative. Some of you are libertarians, probably like myself. But I think you would fall into this. And then there's all those ones out there that kind of watch this channel that would consider themselves liberal, but they still like the prepping stuff. So, if you don't like this, you can go watch another video. I personally believe that there are psychological, whether they are purposefully, and I do think they are, but I could be wrong. But whether purposefully or not, I believe that there's levels of psychological operations being done against conservatives. And part of those is to get them to, follow behind the Pied Piper because they talk real good or because they say the right things. And in the end, still do nothing. Doing nothing has been kind of a big theme for the last few years. Just wait, hold on. There's more to come. We're still in charge. Trust the plan. It's all okay. We've heard that before. Or, hey, this new thing, it's great. Go to the movies and watch it. Pay lots of money because it's going to change things. Or listen to this. Listen to this show. Listen, get my ratings up. Everyone get behind it. Stop drinking this beer, buy more of this song because it's going to change things. Well, maybe it won't, but still it'll make you feel good, right? It'll make you feel good. You'll feel all patriotic. You'll get out there and you'll fly that flag even higher off of your big jacked up pickup truck, and you'll feel really good. Now, some of you are probably saying, who is this self-righteous, bearded person on here talking to me like this? I don't consider myself that way. I'm just kind of the type of person that kind of speaks my mind and speaks the truth. And sometimes the truth hurts. And I'm the kind of person that's okay with stepping on a few feelings along the way if it's necessary to speak the truth. Now, the gentleman in the picture that it's on this video, the thumbnail, I'm not going to call them out, and it's not specifically about them. I just figured those are prominent people in the conservative movement right now, so we'll put them out there. It could be them, it could be many other people. The problem that I'm seeing is that conservatives, nature abhors a vacuum, and there's a vacuum of leadership. There's a vacuum of conservative leadership on a big grand scale. And so when these people step up that have a good platform, they've got a good voice, they look good, they sound good, all that kind of stuff, and they have the money to get the word out, we tend to kind of fall in behind them, listen to them. And I think that there's a potential for that to be dangerous. Because I wonder sometimes all of these prominent people that many of you might point out that you like to listen to, or you like to follow, or you like to watch, or you want to vote for, or you want to buy their products, just wonder what exactly are they doing to really make changes. I was on a phone conversation. I'm not going to mention the name because I don't have permission to. But I was on a lengthy phone conversation today with someone here in my state that I would say 98 to 99% of you, maybe even more, wouldn't know who she is. But she is doing actually a lot of good work. I have another close friend of mine. He's the same way. He donates so much of his time and his money, almost never asks for any kind of donations for the organization that he started. And the amount of work that they're doing politically, the amount of work that they're doing socially, the amount of work that's affecting directly people's lives is amazing. Both of these people have been very prominent in getting some really good legislation passed here in this state. They have influenced legislation in other states. They have both been very influential in grassroots organizations that directly help people that through charitable type organizations that actually get out there and do things. And no one knows about them. And I know personally that they're both, their organizations and any funding that's required to do what they do, they're struggling with it. They're just constantly scraping the bottom, trying to make things go. I know that feeling because that's very similar to what happens here with our own group. We have a large local group, and we've got a lot of things we're doing and a lot of things we want to do. But it's always about money. It's also time. It's also commitment from people. If I brought in one of these big people that's on the thumbnail there, if we was able to have a meeting with them and broadcast it, hundreds and hundreds of people would show up. A lot of these people, maybe not the ones on the screen that you saw, but other people like them. They travel around and do speaking engagements, and they charge hundreds, sometimes hundreds and hundreds of dollars just to hear them speak. And they tell you what you need to be doing. You need to be doing this. You need to be doing that. You need to go and you need to, make sure that the county officials are counting the votes right. You need to get out there and you need to stop buying this product. You need to make a donation to this candidate. You need to rally your neighbors around voting for this person, or go out and watch this movie, or go buy this song. And then they leave and they go to the next town that they speak at. And they've brought in sometimes thousands and thousands of people. Sometimes I would assume that they've raised probably hundreds of thousands, maybe even millions, who knows, of dollars. And you got to wonder sometimes, is anything being done? Are those people that come to those events and that follow behind those big conservative celebrities and their kind of celebrity movements, are they being duped? I mean, would their efforts be better spent and their money be better spent working with local people that they can actually get to know and trust, and find out that their donations are actually going to where they're told they're going to? I don't know. I don't have a whole lot in this video to directly tell you. It's really more of trying to get you to open your mind and think, question. That's the big deal. Question everything, and question this. Question why we're being told that one particular movie is going to change the world when it comes to child trafficking. And I'm not poo-pooing the movie at all, but I can tell you firsthand of people that I've talked to that work in child trafficking organizations. They're saying, I mean, it's great that the movie has brought some attention to it, but it's not really bringing attention to the correct areas, the areas that we need to be doing. And the problem is that people are now focused on big global NGOs, because that's where all the attention is being focused on. These global NGOs that their leadership are making six figures and more, and they have big budgets and get massive big donations. But the amount of work that they're doing on the ground sometimes isn't quite there. where there's other smaller groups, probably in your state, probably right where you live in your area, that are doing much better work, and they're struggling to get it done. Are we being duped by all of this, by believing that there's a resurgence of traditional conservative values? Are we being duped to believe that there's some kind of spiritual revival taking place, that just hold on, give it a couple of years, and the next one, the good guy's going to get in, and he's going to change everything, and everything's going to just be flip-flopped around, and we're going to have a wonderful, perfectly peaceful, prosperous, godly nation again, kind of like we did with the last guy that was in the office, right? I think sometimes all of us we're craving to have that kind of leadership. We're looking for someone or something to be there that's going to save the day. You know, we want that. We watch our patriotic movies, and we read our patriotic books and publications, and we listen to those patriotic songs, and it just gets us fired up. And we just long for the day that, you know, Mel Gibson's patriot character is going to come storming through with his muskets and his tomahawks, and he's going to run out those dirty old redcoats. Or that George Washington will once again ride in on his steed. Or that some other founding father is going to be here to just save the day. You know, if we just had a Patrick Henry or a Samuel Adams, if we just had another Thomas Jefferson. Well, we don't. We don't. And because of that, I think we're following after people that, you know, I don't know their intentions. I don't know them at all. But what I see on the surface is these people are worth a lot of money. I mean, they have money that could do amazing things. And their money is really being spent to bring more attention to them, to bring more attention to what they're doing. And a lot of times what they're doing really in the end doesn't affect you and I very much at all. And I think what it's doing is it's a form of it's some form of psychological operation that's being done to cause complacency being spread in the people, the very few people left in our society that really have the true heart to stand up and to be that 3% of the population, like during the revolution, that stood up against evil, stood up against King George and said, you know what, we're not going to do this anymore. We'll fight to the death for our freedom. I think that's what we're seeing happen. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. But when I watch and I listen and I see all of these very popular celebrity level people on the right side, and I see the following that they have and the amount of money being given and the amount of money being spent, and then I stop and I think, well, where's the results of that? I mean, when you put money into something, you typically expect results, right? Hopefully they're positive results. You know, it's like your children. You spend time and money on your children in the hopes that when they grow up and become adults, they're good people and they love you and they still come back home and see you and bring the grandkids. You spend time and money on something, you're hoping to get a good return on that time and money spent. And I question, are conservatives getting a good return on the time and money that's being spent in a lot of these big conservative organizations and big conservative talking heads and big popular celebrity conservative leaders? I don't know. I mean, from my perspective, my answer would be no. I can't speak for you. You may see things differently. I just worry that a lot of good people haven't seen through the charade yet. A lot of good people truly believe that a particular movie or song or guy on TV or guy in the White House is going to be the thing that turns it all around, that stops this evil. It's just, you know, the demonic, satanic evilness that's spread all over the world is just going to lay down its arms and give up. that there's just going to be this resurgence of traditional liberty Bible-minded families, and it's just going to be great. When in the end, I don't see really any signs of that. I'm not saying that God the Father can't do it. Of course he can. But if we are living in the end times, or at least those days of Noah that many of you think we are and believe we are, then we have to also believe that there's going to be continually a great falling away, and that some kind of victory on our side is probably not going to happen. And if that's true, then why are we spinning our wheels, our time, and our money on these causes that in the end only make certain people more popular or more wealthy, or just, inflate their ego, and where folks like yourself and others around you get nothing in return? If you took that time and that money and you focused on your own needs, your family's needs, or the community around you, if you put your time and money into people that are actually doing on the ground, boots on the ground work, I can think of a lot. And I'm not here to pat myself on the back or to bring attention to me. I'm here to bring attention to a lot of groups. I'll name one. Grindstone Ministry does a lot of great work. The couple of people that I'm talking about, I'm not mentioning them because they're not as public. Grindstone Ministry is public. Everybody sees them all the time. Bear Independent's always talking about them. I think it's pretty safe to promote them. But these other groups, they're not as public, and I don't know if I have permission. But I can tell you, on my honor, that they're good organizations. That what we're doing here, we've helped a lot of people, and I'm not saying me. I'm talking about the people in our group. We've bought groceries and clothing and paid bills and fixed roofs and helped people fix their homes and build homes and all kinds of stuff. And we've also encouraged and helped people become more prepared for what's happening. And we're not the only ones doing it. How many people would have gotten a better return on their time and their money, the investment of their time and money, if they'd put their time and money in groups like what we're doing, or starting your own little group of a little mag or tribe, or doing the research and finding out, is that child trafficking NGO that you're working with or that you're donating to that says that they're trying to end it, are they really doing a lot? How much money out of each dollar, how many pennies out of each dollar is actually going to the front lines? I don't know, but it's something to think of, because in the end, it's all a big game. It's a big game, and it's a big money-making scheme. And don't think that just the left are the only ones in on it. The right is too. You look at all the politicians, 99% of them stink. You wouldn't give you a plug nickel for them. A lot of the people running for office, well, in fact, most all of them, I feel the same way about. Doesn't mean that they don't say good things, or they may even stand for good things, and they may even be better than what's in office right now. But, when I stop and think about that, about everyone I know would be better off than what we have in office. So that's not really a big selling point for me. I don't necessarily want you to be angry and hate me for this video, but if that's the case, I guess that's okay. I want you to start questioning this. I want you to challenge yourself, to think a little bit clearly and see through the stuff that's going on, because I think a lot of what we see, especially online, that's coming from conservative sources, are just as much part of the game of trying to get your money and your attention and your loyalty, just so that it can inflate someone, their ego, their name, or their bank accounts, or all of the above, and transfer more of that wealth and freedom from you to them. Because in the end, are we better off? Are we better off because someone does some TV show, interview, whatever on Twitter and gets 80 million followers? Are we better off because of that, just because a lot of people watch? Are we better off because a different guy that is worth a lot of money gets into office? Really, are we? I mean, maybe a little. You could say we were a little better off the last presidential, time, the last president, but were we a lot better off? I don't think so. They're all part of the play and playing the same game. You know, the person I spoke with on the phone today, I told him, I said, I think personally, and I'm speaking just right now of the elections, that all the elections they're all rigged anyways. And if you truly believe that they are, then you've got to believe that whoever gets into office this next time is there because that's where they were placed by whoever's in charge, regardless if it's the orange man or not. We have to stop just following every Pied Piper that plays a tune that we want to hear. We have to stop believing that there's any man that's going to save us or any woman that's going to save us. I mean, there's only one Savior, and he died 2,000 years ago and is not any longer in that grave. We have to stop believing that these people that sound good, that they're, you know, kind of have a Hollywood quality to them. And it's because they do. They have the same speech writers and the same makeup artists and the same people designing their sets and their little logos and all that kind of stuff. It's all the same kind of people. We have to start realizing that those people can dupe us just as much as the left can. The left has their people that's duping all the peons on the left, the average Joe on the left, and, well, the conservatives have the same thing. And you need to be aware of that and wise up and see through it. You need to be taking care of your own family, working with your local community, working with local organizations that are doing good things on the ground, that are directly helping people's lives. And then also working with your mag and your tribe and getting that ready. And stop spending so much time and money on what could possibly be a big futile effort, because as of right now, I don't know that we have much to show for all the hype that's happened over the last few years. It's time to get your houses in order, folks. It's time to prepare yourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.